Power and strength sports. The nutrition plan for athletes involved in power and strength sports, such as weightlifting or sprinting, must cater to the body's needs for muscle growth and repair, optimize strength and power, and provide enough energy for intense training sessions. For a long time, proper dietary instructions for strength and power athletes have been lacking. Both coaches and athletes failed to grasp the importance of an optimized diet, and this can be attributed to a variety of factors. First, athletes in these types of sports are often larger and must be larger in lean and overall body mass. Because their aims are usually to increase or maintain mass, sometimes the only guideline they are given is to eat. Another explanation is the type of activity that these athletes usually engage in. Because they participate in activities that require short bursts of force, it was previously assumed that food would have minimal effect on their performance. Athletes should ensure a steady supply of energy throughout the day by consuming meals and snacks at regular intervals. As for macronutrient distribution, a general guideline could be 50 to 60% carbohydrates, 15 to 25% protein, and 20 to 30% fat. However, these ratios can vary greatly depending on individual needs, body composition, and specific training goals. Dietary guidelines and needs. Protein. Protein is an essential nutrient for power and strength athletes, playing a crucial role in muscle repair, growth, and overall performance. Power and strength athletes have higher protein needs than endurance athletes. Research suggests a daily protein intake of 1.4 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight is generally adequate for strength training athletes. The upper end of this range might be more appropriate during periods of intense training or when trying to gain muscle mass. It's important to know that not all proteins are created equal. Animal proteins, such as meat, dairy, and eggs, are considered complete proteins because they contain all the essential amino acids that your body can't produce on its own. Plant-based proteins, such as beans, lentils, and tofu, are often incomplete, but you can combine different plant proteins to get all the essential amino acids. BCAA supplements can also be helpful when your diet consists of a lot of incomplete protein sources. The timing of protein intake can influence muscle protein synthesis, MPS, which is the process of building new muscle tissue. Consuming protein after a workout can enhance MPS and aid recovery. Some research also supports the idea of spreading protein intake evenly throughout the day, every 3 to 4 hours, for optimal MPS. While protein supplements can be a convenient way to meet protein needs, whole foods should be the primary source of protein in your diet. Some high-protein foods include lean meats, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy, milk, cheese, yogurt, and plant-based sources like lentils, beans, tofu, tempeh, and quinoa. Carbohydrates. It's a well-known fact by now that sufficient carbohydrate intake is crucial for optimal performance in power and strength sports. In high-intensity effort, lasting anywhere from a few seconds to 10 minutes, the anaerobic and oxidative metabolism of carbohydrates provides the majority of ATP. While on one side of the spectrum we have sports like shot put and Olympic weightlifting, which almost exclusively use ATP stored in the muscles for energy, other power and strength sports usually last a bit longer than them, meaning the body needs to use glycogen for energy. High-intensity workouts significantly deplete glycogen stores. For example, a single resistance training session can deplete glycogen stores by 24 to 40%, while 30 seconds of maximal effort running deplete them by about 25%. For power and strength athletes, it's recommended to consume around 3 to 7 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight daily. These figures can fluctuate depending on your sport, training phase, intensity, duration, and individual needs. Athletes may need up to 6 to 12 grams per kilogram of body weight in the blocks of training where volume is really high. When it comes to carb intake, timing can make a big difference in how you perform and recover. Balancing your carb intake with your training schedule can be a bit of an art form. If you're gearing up for a big lift day, increasing your carb intake in the preceding meals can give you the fuel you need for peak performance. Pre-competition and pre-workout nutrition should consist largely of moderate to low glycemic index foods, which will provide a slow, sustained release of carbohydrates necessary to fuel a workout. The International Olympic and the American College of Sports Medicine both recommend carb intake around 1 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight post-workout. This will help the athlete replenish their glycogen stores and kickstart the recovery process after a training session or sports bout. The recommendation is to consume carbs within 30 minutes after physical activity. The timing is especially important for athletes going through a higher volume block and/or exercising with a high intensity multiple times a day. Fat. As we mentioned before, the role of dietary fats extends beyond being mere energy reserves. They are essential for overall health, hormone production, and exercise performance. According to some studies, it seems that a higher fat diet maintains circulating testosterone concentrations better than low-fat diets. While saturated fats are essential for testosterone production, a vital hormone for muscle growth and recovery, trans fats should be avoided altogether due to their detrimental effects on heart health. Monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats found in nuts, avocados, and fish oils are praised for their anti-inflammatory properties. For power and strength athletes, a balanced intake of these fats, except for trans fats, supports muscle growth, energy levels, and recovery. It can also assist in the efficient utilization of carbohydrates, which are primary energy sources during intense training sessions. For power and strength athletes, it is usually said that fat should constitute around 15 to 20% to 20 to 30% of their total caloric intake, depending on the source. The focus should be on the quality and sources of fats, rather than solely on quantity. An athlete's diet should be rich in monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, with moderate consumption of saturated fats. An approach that encourages variety from sources like olive oil, nuts, avocados, and fatty fish ensures a comprehensive profile of essential fats. Supplementation with omega-3 can also be considered when needed. Hydration. Besides the basic human need for water, optimizing hydration isn't nearly as hard for power and strength athletes as it is for endurance athletes. The effects of dehydration in strength and power sports aren't well documented. Some data showed that the ability to perform resistance exercise and total peak cycling power is reduced with dehydration by about 3% of body mass. Vitamins. Research on the benefits of vitamin and mineral supplements for strength and power athletes is relatively limited. Both fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, and water-soluble vitamins, B and C, are crucial organic compounds necessary for various metabolic activities. Given their role in metabolism, it has been suggested that increased consumption of these vitamins could help athletes better cope with the demands of their training regimen.